Like all of us, I get excited when I start to load a roll of film in a vintage camera, even if it takes me a few attempts. Sometimes I have no clue where I will end up, and other times I have a plan for a photo shoot. And today I've checked the weather, I've checked my location, and I headed off for some beautiful afternoon low light winter woodland photography. So hopefully today I'm going to get some nice pictures. I'll show you what I've brought out of me in my bag. Put the bag down. I brought out me this old beauty. I've got the Zeiss Ikon Nettar. Look at this old classic. I love this camera. Inside I've got a roll of Kodak TMAX 100, apparently the world's sharpest film. A film that I don't often shoot a great deal of. More of an Ilford fan than a Kodak fan, mainly because of the price. But Kodak TMAX 100 is certainly a good film. And I've also brought out a Franca Salida as well. There it comes. A Franca Salida as well, and they're both 6x6 medium format cameras. This one you can pick up for about 50 quid, this one you can pick up for about 50 quid depending on the condition. These are both in really good condition and I've had them for years. In fact, this was the very first medium format camera that I got when I when I decided to go into medium format. I bought this one and it was dirt cheap. So these are the cameras that I'm shooting today, and this one I've got a little no I haven't, it's in the shimmy bag. I've got a little tiny yellow filter as well that I've got for this one, so I'm going to be using that. Now the trouble is today, because I'm shooting 100 speed films, I haven't got much speed. I want to shoot a wide aperture. I want to go for a wide aperture. This one can give some nice swirly bokeh sometimes, so I want to go for a nice open aperture, which is going to give me a bit more to play with on the shutter speed. But you can see how dense the wood is. The sunlight is over there, it's just coming down. It's around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's not really bright. And the shutter speeds on these cameras ain't too great at the slower side of the scale. So this one, for example, I've got shutter speeds of 25th of a second, 75th and 200, sorry. At 25th, it's a bit touch and go. At the speed of 200 and a little bit below that, maybe 100, it's quite good, it snaps quite well. But anything lower than that, these old mechanics on these shutters ain't too great, so they're not that accurate. But what I've done is I've bought a cable release with me, and I'm going to go into bulb mode and do some metering. Maybe go for half a second or maybe 1 second exposures, depending on what I'm getting. And to calculate my exposures, I've brought out the little tiny Astrori light meter that I reviewed on the channel a few weeks back. I bought this out, but just in case I want to do some spot metering, I've also bought out this Iconic as well. And I've bought out a couple of bags of cheese bites and a bottle of water. I've also got on the Zeiss Ikon this little tiny range finder. So these cameras have got, there's no automatic, nothing at all in it. You know, you've got to do your own focusing, judge your own distances, and all your exposures as well. But to help me with the focusing, I've got this little Rowie range finder, which is in meters, and this lens is in feet. So I have to do a little bit of conversion. The lens on this is 75mm on a medium format, so just under 50mm on a 35mm camera, if you like. So it should be nice for this sort of photography. But the most important thing, I want to shoot nice and open apertures and see if I can get any of that sort of nice swirly bokeh in the background. We'll soon see. So I'm all set up on my first shot. You can see the sunlight, it's just striking these trees here, which is really nice. And I've got on the lens aperture f4.5, which is wide open on this camera. I've set in to focus on this tree here, which is around about 10 foot away. So on the lens I've dialed in 10 foot. And I've got the cable release there, and I've got it in bulb mode as well, because the meter's coming back at around about 1/15 of a second. So, you know, this camera won't be able to time that for me. I'm gonna have to do it myself in bulb mode. So if I overexpose slightly, that's fine. The last thing I want to do is underexpose. So even if I hit it at 1 second, I'll still get a printable negative. So yeah, let's take this shot anyway. One, off. See how that works. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing, bouncing all around this area, and I'll show you guys the pictures that I get using this camera. So I'm on my second shot. In case you're wondering how these rangefinders work, this is in meters. So I look through there and it gives me the split image. So I turn that, and then when the whatever I want to focus on comes into alignment, at the moment I'm focusing just past that tree onto a stick on the floor. And as I turn that wheel, the stick, the two images of a stick, it comes together and it lines up perfectly, and that's my focus point. And it says there it's 5 meters away. So on my phone I convert 5 meters to feet, so I reckon it's around about 16 foot. So that's what I've dialed into the lens, and that's how these rangefinders work. And if you've got one of these cameras and you haven't got a rangefinder, that attachment on there, they are easy to find on eBay if you have a look around. This is quite a good one, I've had it for years. But if you don't have one of those, you can just judge the distance yourself and just dial it into the lens. So from here to that tree, for example, I don't know, 1, 2, there's about 3 meters, you know. So if you're shooting a small aperture as well, f11, f8, f16 or whatever, you'll get it pretty much in focus. So this is shot number 2. I've just advanced the camera. Hopefully I've got the tree stump in the frame as well. I want to try and get that tree stump at the bottom. You see the lights just coming through. Same sort of shot again. I don't know if I'm exposing these right, but we're just going to give it a go. 1/15 of a second. It's got a little bit brighter, so maybe not as much. See how that looks. And like I said, as long as they're not underexposed, as long as they're if anything, overexposed than underexposed. If they're underexposed, my negative's going to be thin. When I put it on enlarger, back in the darkroom, the light's just going to go straight through it, hit the paper and turn it black. If I've got more density on the negative through overexposure, it's going to give me longer enlarging times when I make a print. But that's fine, at least I'll be able to get a decent print at the end of it. Another shot here, this mid-afternoon sun's just lighting that tree nicely, you can see. Exactly the same exposures as before. I'm all set up, it's about 5 feet away. And I've got this tree slap bang in the middle of my composition because it's got these nice leaves running down it, and either side, those 2 other trees either side. Look at this beautiful light though. If I had a wide lens, that would look really gorgeous. You can see it on the GoPro. Let's take this shot though. That's about enough. See, I've got another shot here. I've brought the tripod a little bit low. I don't want the camera bang on the floor, but I've just brought it low down, as you can see the way I've put that tripod together. If you want to know what this tripod is, I'll put a link in the description. In fact, there it is there. It's a K&F Concept. It's got the most daftest name in the world. It's a T254A8, if you're interested. That's what it is. But I've just collapsed it down and I'm shooting over there. I've set everything up, just waiting for this light to come out a bit more, which it has done. I'll take my shot, exactly the same as before, still on a shallow aperture, about half a second. Advance the thingamajig. Ready, 1, 2, 3. The sun just started to go in then. Now this scene could possibly give me the swirly bokeh that I'm after. You see, I'm quite close to that stump with the ivy growing down it and all the moss on there. It looks quite nice. When that sun shines in the background, all those leaves, you get this little shimmer coming off all these leaves. And because I'm at shallow depth of field, what, f4.5, I'm at a wide open aperture. So the tree, I focus on the tree, everything else will be out of focus, but that light shimmering on the leaves should create this nice bokeh effect, if I'm right. I've had it before, but obviously I can't tell because I can't see what's coming through the negative on the back of the screen. But wait for that sun to come out and we'll give it a pop. I ain't got a clue what I'm getting. That's the beauty of film photography though, isn't it? We take these shots and I haven't got a clue. I can't see on the back of the camera what I'm doing, what I'm getting. When I get back and start developing the film, I only hope and pray that I've got my exposures okay. And if they are, that's a big ball of excitement that's going to come out of me to see that the negatives are good enough to print and I haven't wasted my day. But I've always said, even if I go back and the negatives ain't that great, not that printable, maybe flat, maybe thin, underexposed, whatever, I've still enjoyed myself walking around here. Spoke to a couple of people walking past, and I've been in here for about an hour now, just walking around, listening to nature. It's either that or sit indoors watching crap on TV, unless there's football on. So I've brought the camera back up now. I'm on shot number 9, I think. I better advance the frame. Yeah, I'm on shot number 9. Let's just advance that. And I've now gone to F16. So I've just done some metering with the, I keep nearly dropping this little thing. Just done some metering with the Astrori, and it's given me 1 second F16 in that area, which is, you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but it's not well lit. And because I'm not too sure the reciprocity, I'm going to go 2 seconds. In fact, no, I'm going to go 3 seconds. I don't mind overexposing. Let's count 3 seconds in. See if I can count 3 seconds in. Infinite as well. I'm focusing on infinite. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. That'll do. So I just got back to the motor, and I'm going to shoot off now, have some water, have my cheese bites, and then go home and develop this film. TMAX 100, I'm going to develop it in 510 Pyro from Zone Imaging. Look at all that anti-elation dye and pyro all in there, looks yucky. Right, let's get the film fixed now. So I'm going to go for 7 minutes of fixing time with this film. In goes a fixeroni, and then off we go. I'm going to give it a good old start off for 20 seconds, 15 or 20 seconds. Oh yeah, oh wow, I think I've gone a bit over the top, but they're fine. They are fine. One of them is extremely nice, 1 out of 12. So the negatives are now dry, just as expected. Yeah, I've got them overexposed, all right. That bulb mode, maybe I can't count properly. 1, 3, 6. How do you? I don't know. Anyway, it's as easy as ACB, isn't it? Oh boy! But they're printable. So it's a little bit risky what I was doing, using the bulb mode and trying to calculate the exposures with my fingers, trying to count in, especially when you get to sort of, when you're metering at like 1/15 or 1/4 of a second, you're just sort of hitting and hoping, really. I've already developed the negs. They look all right, and I've chosen one that I really like. I'll show you why I like it, make a print of it. And as always, guys, these prints go on my Etsy page. If you like my work and want to support the channel, you can always buy a print on my Etsy page, where all my prints go. Most of them go after I finish a session in a darkroom. So the negative that I particularly like was one that I shot in the woods, where this branch was sort of broken down going across, and I feel like that just sort of broke up the whole scenery. All these trees are standing up, and this one branch or this one tree or whatever it is, it's kind of been blown down and pushed against the other trees. I like that one a lot, so that's the one I'm going to make a print of. And you can see this white edge around the easel here. This is because the carrier that I've got under the enlarger that the negative sits on has got a slight border around the edge, so it shows the edge of the rebate of the film, which in the print will turn black and finish it off nicely. So the paper's down, contrast 0, filter first for 10 seconds. No dodging and burning needed at all, which is nice. Just a straightforward print with a bit of split grading, if you like. In goes the contrast 5. I said 7.5 seconds. I'm going to go for 7 seconds. In fact, I'm going to go 7.9, so say 8 seconds with the contrast 5. Off it goes. Sorry if you guys can't see this too well, but I need to keep the red lights off so I can see this negative on the board here. Right, let's put it in the developer. I'll let you watch it come through. In it goes. And what I'm intending to do, while you guys, I put you back in the woods with me, while that's happening, I'm going to sepia tone these prints because I think, not totally sepia, I'm just going to give it a real slight tweak, just a little hint of sepia toning, just to warm it up very slightly. And this is looking really nice. See that coming through. And there's the print there. That's looking lovely, just exactly how I wanted it. Just giving it a wash now, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of sepia toning, only just a slight hint. So I've made 4 prints, guys. I'm going to do 2 sepia tones and leave the other 2 as they are. I'll show you the difference between the 2 at the end after I've sepia toned these 2. They're all going to go up on my Etsy page. I'll put a link in the description. Do you know what? I'm blown away how sharp that Zeiss Ikon lens is. It's unbelievably sharp. So is the film. So if you ever come across these sort of cameras in antique shops or charity shops or even online, don't overlook them because of the price is cheap. They can be very, very good cameras if you get a good one. This is actually a good one, although the slower shutter speeds are a little bit twitchy. It could do with a good CLA, which might sort that out. But even so, that was good fun and a good little challenge for me to stick the cable release inside, stick it in bulb mode and try and guesstimate my exposures. Like I said, as long as I wasn't underexposed, I was okay. I knew I'd be slightly overexposed. You just can't, you know, it's tricky. But these cameras are really good. And I didn't shoot the Franca Solida, unfortunately. I felt like I'd spent enough time in the woods, and I thought if I shoot the film that I've already loaded in this camera, I'm only even going to replicate what I've already shot. So I thought I'd save the film which is inside this camera, another roll of TMAX 100, for another day. I'll probably shoot that one in the week. I went in the darkroom and made some prints. I'll show you those prints now. 2 of them I very slightly sepia tones, not over the top, just a little hint of sepia, which gives it a little bit of a warmer feel to the prints. And these are the prints I come back with. I've got 4 of these. I've put all of them on my Etsy page, 2 sepiaed and 2 non-sepiaed. And this was the favourite negative that I liked, only because that tree or whatever it is in the background was kind of going off, and it sort of just kind of filled the frame, I found, when I looked at the negatives. So I've got these prints online, guys. If you want to support the channel, all my other prints are on there as well. Have a little look. And thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks a lot for everyone that's subscribed to my channel and watches the content that I put out. I really do appreciate it, because without you guys I wouldn't have a channel at all. So thanks very much. I'll catch you next time.